What's going on, everybody? John Keene. Welcome to the Ugly Truth podcast. It's our second episode today. Hopefully, you caught yesterday's episode. What a great overlook at how people use fear and how fear impacts our lives. We're going to deviate away from the original game plan a little bit today. I feel like there's a different topic. For whatever reason, this is just on my heart today. So we're going to change it up today. We're actually going to be talking about how to embrace your pain. All right. So hopefully this episode today is going to impact you. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you are. I don't know your struggles or what you're dealing with. I do want to tell you that you're loved and you're special and that you're an incredible human being. But I feel in my heart that this is where we need to go today, that there's somebody out there today that needs to hear the message that we're going to deliver on this podcast. So welcome to the show. Again, my name is John. If you don't know me, or if you do know me, I am a author, blogger, podcaster, marketer, website designer, a social media guy, just a whole bunch of stuff. I've had about 1 billion different titles or whatever you want to call it. And my journey has been long. And so I want to talk to some people that may be going through some of the stuff that I've had to go through and overcome on my route to get here where I'm at today. And so anyway, that's what the topic is going to be about. So hopefully this will bless you. Hopefully you'll find some principles and some practices that you can put into place for your life that will help get you over the hump or over the hurdle or through the pain or through the setback or whatever you want to call it, the speed bump that we encounter many times during this journey that we call life. Before we get started, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Beast Supplement Company. Check them out at beastsupplementcompany.com. There's a beast in all of us, so find the beast in you. They've got the most elite proteins, testosterone boosters, vitamins, supplements, all delivered for free right to your door. So check them out online at beastsupplementcompany.com and find the beast that's in you. So with that being said, man, we're going to go ahead and jump right into this podcast today. Again, this is just something that's on my heart. As I've gone through my journey, it's been very difficult to overcome a lot of the obstacles, a lot of the challenges, but most importantly, a lot of the pain that gets inflicted upon us as we go through life, whether that be through our parents or our friends or maybe ourselves. Right? It could be emotional pain, physical pain, spiritual pain, but there's just a lot of pain in the world today. And so this is something that I think affects almost every single person. So this is a podcast episode that really can be beneficial to every single person. Now, as we're getting going here, whether you're listening to this on Anchor, Spotify, or iTunes, or maybe you're watching this on Facebook Live right now as we're streaming at 9 o'clock. It's Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Welcome, by the way. If you're watching this on Facebook, please comment where you're watching from. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Somebody out there needs to hear this message today, and sharing positivity is free. It doesn't cost you a thing, and we oftentimes reach out with little special gifts to people that comment and engage in our content. So make sure you do that, like, share, and then just comment where you're watching from, or maybe your thoughts about the podcast as it's going through. And if you're watching this on replay, use hashtag replay. But either way, wherever you're at, wherever you're watching this today, chances are that you have experienced some form of pain in your life. And the truth is that pain can really alter where we're headed, right? Pain can actually change the course of somebody's final destination in their life. And I don't say that like the movie is in logs coming off the back of trucks. What I mean is that it can alter. You could be headed somewhere great. You could be headed to the mountaintop of your wildest dreams, and pain can change that entire trail from the mountaintop to a different valley. It can change the entire course that you're headed for in your life, from you achieving and accomplishing the things that you want to giving up and settling for a life that you don't want, or maybe a life that makes you miserable or angry. In my own personal life, I've experienced a lot of different types of pain. I've experienced abandonment, hurt, ridicule, judgment, bullying, so many different things, failure. And of course, with failure, just so you guys know, I want to tell you this now, it's okay to fail. You have to fail in order to succeed. The best baseball players in the world strike out 7 out of 10 times. All right, so they fail 7 out of 10 times and only succeed 3 out of those 10. And their success, right? Matter of fact, as I was talking to somebody earlier today, if you were to hit 300 in the baseball league for your career, more than likely you'd end up in Cooperstown in the Hall of Fame. So just because you've tried 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 different things so far and nothing has worked, it's okay. All right, because eventually you're going to make contact with the ball, but you got to keep swinging in order to make contact. I've seen, and maybe some of you don't follow baseball, so this may not be the best analogy for everybody, but I have seen where hitters go into a slump. They may strike out 18, 20, 30 times even before they get another hit and are able to get a good hot streak going again. Well, what if they stopped after the 5th strikeout or the 10th strikeout or the 20th strikeout and they just gave up? Well, you can never get another hit again if you never walk back up to the plate. So life is all about taking as many swings as you can. He who goes up to the plate to hit the most is going to get the most hits. It's just the law of averages, which is the law of numbers, that eventually your hit is going to come back around. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today, we're talking more about embracing your pain. And you may say, how do you embrace something that hurts you? Well, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about my own self. And hopefully through this, you guys can get some insight and I can help give you guys an advantage into this game, give you guys an advantage into life and help you maybe take some shortcuts, if you will, to avoid further delays in achieving the success or the life that you've always wanted or dreamed about. A lot of us as young kids, we started out really seeking the approval and the love of our parents. A lot of the choices we made, a lot of the sports we played, a lot of the decisions that we went through, they weren't based off of what we really wanted to do. They were more based off of trying to make mom or dad proud, trying to earn their love or earn their affection. And through this, we start to experience pain at a very young age. I can remember I was a very talented baseball player, and I can remember going into a baseball game, and that's why I use that analogy a lot, going into a baseball game and having 3 hits. I could have got a single, a double, maybe a home run, and then I maybe struck out. And I can remember that the ride home with my dad was always about the strikeout. There was always about the one mistake or the one error or the one thing that didn't go right in the game. And through that, I felt pain. Now, that's a very, maybe you would say, silly pain. But for a kid, for a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old, that's about as real as pain can get for you in that moment in life. And then as we get older, right, we want to fit in with a certain people in high school or middle school. Maybe we want to fit in with a certain friend group, or maybe they won't let us come in and they're picking on us, or whatever the case may be. And we experience pain that way. We experience rejection that way. And so often pain really can be linked directly to rejection. And it hurts. And then we come out of that and maybe we don't want to go to college. Maybe we'd rather be an entrepreneur or start our own business or do our own thing. But we know that mom and dad have these expectations. And so maybe we say, hey, look, I'd rather do this. And they tell us, no, that's a bad idea, or that's a horrible idea, or you'll never make it, or whatever. And again, we experience that pain or that rejection. Through my life, it has really just been one rejection after the next. It has been one pain after the next. And what I've learned through that has really helped me excel and get mentally and emotionally and spiritually to the level that I needed to be at, was that instead of being mad at the pain, instead of me rejecting the pain that has been inflicted upon me, I should learn to embrace that pain. And the more pain I was able to embrace, the more at bats I was able to take, the more swings I was able to take, the more failures I was able to make, which ultimately would lead to more successes. And so when we talk about embracing the pain, I'm not saying that you have to love being hurt, right? Some of us out there today are dealing with a mental abuse. Maybe you were abused mentally, or you were abused physically or emotionally. You've been damaged in some way. You've been hurt in some way. And what I want to tell you today is that those things that have happened to you, while they were tragic, while they maybe have had a lasting, profound impact in your life, maybe they caused you some sort of anxiety disorder or depression or PTSD. Those things are just moments that happen to you. They don't define who that you are. And when you let them define who you are, you become a prisoner to the people that inflicted the pain in the first place. You know, when I first started on my entrepreneurial journey, when I first came up with my very first business concept, which was so long ago, but it was for a moving and delivery company. And I can remember I put this down on paper, this concept down on paper, and I was so excited. I was so pumped up. I was so fired up because I just knew that, man, this is a great idea. This is going to be super successful. This is going to work. I can't believe I thought of this. I'm so proud of myself. And I can remember going to my dad and saying, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And I remember the first thing out of his mouth was, most businesses don't make it past the first year. And I thought, wow, what a unique way to respond to me being very, very excited and pumped up that most businesses aren't going to make it. So you're probably not going to make it, son. You may want to go get a job somewhere because that's probably not going to work. And of course, it did not make it past the first year. Neither did Venture 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, or 30 or 40. But eventually I would hit my home run, if you will. I would find my journey or the vehicle that would stick. And ever since then, I have become addicted to building. I've become addicted to the startup process of creating companies to a point really and truly that has hurt me in some areas. But it's so much fun to me to take something and put it on a napkin and then be able to create that thing from nothing. It's an addiction. It's what my life was designed to do outside of public speaking and helping people. That is what I was created for, was to be a creator, to try new things. And so if you're going to have that type of lifestyle, if you're going to try to do those types of things, inevitably you're going to fail, and you're going to fail a lot. And you're going to experience lots of rejection and lots of pain. But it's important to remember that, as I just said, those things are just moments. They don't define us. They don't define who we are. And so as I got older and I started finding mentors, and I started finding people that could help me on my journey, they could help me change my mindset, they could help me change the way that I viewed things and saw things, I came across this guy, and he taught me something that really is probably one of the most valuable lessons that I've ever learned in my life, if I'm being honest, and that is that there is no such thing really as failing. None of it's really failing. It's all educational. It's only a failure if you didn't learn something valuable from the experience. Then that is a complete fail. If you didn't learn anything valuable, then that's a fail. But if you learned something valuable, maybe you started a business and something didn't work correctly, and now you know if you start another business not to do that in this business, well, then that business wasn't a failure. It was a success. It taught you something valuable. And every failure that becomes a success is going to eventually lead you to a success off the get-go, a successful idea, a successful company, a successful venture. But everybody has to pay the price. And so when you do that, you start to actually embrace your failures. You start to actually embrace your pain. For many years, I held tons of resentment for the people that caused me pain and inflicted pain in my life. There was resentment for my parents for some of the things that happened to me when I was a child. There was resentment for my friends that never believed in me and always called me a goofball and said that I would never amount to anything or be able to do anything. There was resentment for these business partners that I had in the past that screwed me over, or we would build something successful and then they would cut me out when they didn't need me anymore. There was just a lot of resentment there. And so I was walking around and I was living my life in a state of anger, in a state of darkness, in a state of resentment. I was walking around with a chip on my shoulder. And I'm a big guy, but I couldn't eat this one. And so once I learned from this guy, hey, look, they're not failures. You got to embrace the pain. I went to a seminar one time and listened to a very famous author speak by the name of John Piper. And he had a sermon that was titled, or a speech that was titled, Embrace Your Suffering. And the premise behind that was that for every time that we suffer, for everything that we go through that hurts, there's joy on the other side of that hurt. There's joy on the other side of that pain. And we have to learn to embrace the pain, because if we don't, then we're wasting our life. Some of you may have even read his book, Embrace or Don't Waste Your Life. You don't want to waste your life. For every minute that you sacrifice happiness for anger, for every minute that you sacrifice joy for sadness, that's a wasted minute of your life, and we only get so many minutes to be here to begin with, and you don't want to waste those. There's no point in allowing what somebody else said or did to you to affect you on an emotional, physical, or spiritual level. Nowadays, I could start a company and tell somebody about it, and they could tell me that's the dumbest idea that they've ever heard, and it's like I have blinders on. It's like their words just bounce off, and I just continue on forward doing what I want to do because it's what I want to do. I've learned to embrace that pain. I've learned to embrace that suffering. Listen, if pain isn't showing up in your life, if suffering isn't showing up in your life, then something that we're doing isn't right. If you're living your life with no pain and no suffering, something's not right. We are inevitably, when we're doing something great, going to be under some form of attack. When you think about civilizations, every great civilization has come under attack. Every great person, every great success has come under attack. You look in the media today, how many actors, actresses, politicians, business owners, how many successful people out there come under attack? I probably won't put politician in the successful category, but how many successful people out there have come under attack? It's almost a birthright to be able to get to the place that you want to be at. So in your own life, if you've experienced hurt from somebody, if somebody has wronged you in some way, if somebody has harmed you or broken you down, you have to know that what they've done is actually a gift. What they've done is actually a blessing. From that breakdown, from that hurt, from that pain, something great is happening. One is that you are being prepared for the next level of your life. You're going to be tougher. You're going to be stronger. You're going to be able to take on more. It's funny to me because the people that do the hurting, the hating, the abusing, they're the ones that never are able to level up. They're never able to go anywhere. They're always still in the same place 3 years later when you look at them that they were in to begin with. But the people that get hurt, the people that are abused, the ones that are able to embrace that and rise from that, well, they end up in a totally different place in life than they were. They oftentimes look back and see the person that caused them the pain and almost feel sorry for them because they're in the same place. They're in the same spot. They haven't grown. They haven't moved. They haven't elevated because they can't. They're too busy inflicting pain. So if that's you today, if you're somebody today that is walking around and you've got a big old burden of rocks, everybody's got a bag of rocks. And we don't ever know what they are. But if you're somebody today that is walking around with that pain, if you're somebody today that has been been hurt, if you're somebody today that has been abused or been neglected, or you felt abandoned, or maybe you feel alone, like nobody cares about you, maybe you're in a state of depression and everybody around you just keeps telling you get over it, or don't choose to be sad, and you're just thinking, man, it's just not that easy, I wish people could understand. If you're somebody that's dealing with that today, if you feel like nobody's on your side and nobody's in your corner, nobody has your back, nobody cares about you, I want to tell you about two people that love you today and care about you. The first one is me, but I'm not the most important. But I do love you, and I do care about you, and I do hurt for you if you're hurting. And I am going to expose my own hurt in an effort to attempt to help people get past the pain in their own life and get to the next level. But the second person that I want to tell you about is God, your daddy, your father, the person that created you, the person that loves you to no end. Now, this is not a sermon. Please do not mistake this for some sermon. But I do know the truth, and this is the ugly truth, right? We don't sugarcoat it. We're not here to protect feelings. We're not here to worry about whether or not somebody likes or doesn't like what we have to say. We're here to tell the truth. And the truth is that God says that we should count all of our losses as blessings. All of our pain we should count as a blessing. That there's a purpose behind everything in our life, good or bad. Here's what I want to tell you. If there wasn't a purpose behind the bad, then what's the point of life? If there was no good to be had out of the pain, if we couldn't pull a nugget of something out of that pain, then what is the point of even being here? Scripture tells us that he works all things, not some things, not a few things, not a couple things. He works all things for our good and his glory. Well, that means even the bad things get worked out for our good and his glory. As I look back now as a 33-year-old and I think about all of the hard things I've gone through and all the pain that I've gone through, I sit here and I'm grateful for those pains and those struggles and that hurt, because if I hadn't experienced that, I couldn't even sit here and talk to you about that today. If I had gone through life and it was just la-di-da and I had never experienced hurt or tragedy or sorrow or pain or abandonment, how could I sit here and speak about those things? I couldn't. You see, those things are a direct impact on my own personal life, on my own personal mission to help people that have gone through similar things, that have gone through similar struggles. And you don't know my struggle right now, or maybe you've read my book and you do know some of my struggle. I don't know. But I have been through a lot in 33 years. Starting even as a baby, I have just been through a tremendous amount of pain. But I praise God for all of that pain. I'm thankful for all of that pain, because that gives me the opportunity today to help people get through theirs. I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying that in some way that pain is not a big deal and that we should go outside and drop a hammer on our toe so that we can feel some pain. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that whatever that thing is in your life, whatever that burning desire is, that passion is, that God-given gift or ability is that you really want to do every single day for the rest of your life, whatever that little bit of fire that he put in your belly, where maybe you want to create a restaurant because you love to cook, or maybe you want to be a social media influencer, or maybe you want to play music, or you want to play video games, or you want to be there's so many different things, a painter, designer, maybe you just want to cut grass for a living, you enjoy riding mowers, whatever the case is, right? There's a reason that you have that in the back of your head. There's a reason that you're not happy going through life answering to somebody else. There's a reason that you're not happy being somebody that you weren't created and designed to be, and that's why. And if you'll learn to not care, so many of us right now are not pursuing the things that we're most talented at. They're not pursuing the things that they're most gifted at. They're not pursuing the things that are going to bless them the most and bring them the most financial success, physical success, emotional success, spiritual success. They're not pursuing those things today. And why are they not pursuing those things? Because of the pain that they've experienced. They don't want to be rejected again. They don't want to be hurt again. They don't want to have to go through that again. So it's easier for me just to sit over here with my life raft than to get out of the boat and swim through shark-infested waters to get to the thing that means the most to me. I asked somebody one time, gazillionaire, that I was being mentored by for a short amount of time, and he told me this story. I asked him, I said, when will I finally reach my success? When will I finally get there? And he told me this story, and I'm going to tell you this story because I think that it's applicable to everybody's life, and it really puts things into perspective. It really puts things into perspective. There was this guru, this very wise guru, and there was a young salesman, and he came up to this guy and he said, I want to know how to be successful. I want to know how to get to success. And the guru told him, do you really want to know? He said, yeah. He said, I need to know how am I going to get there? When am I going to get there? What is the steps I need to take to get there? And the guru said, I want you to meet me at this beach tomorrow morning at sunrise. I want you to meet me at this beach. And I'm going to show you what it's going to take for you to get to success. And so the guy left, and, he went home, and the next morning came, and the guy showed up, and he didn't know what they were going to do, but he showed up in a suit and tie, ready to be coached or taught what he would have to do to be successful. And the guru says, I want you to start walking out into that ocean. And so they started walking out. And the guy didn't know what was going on. And first they get knee deep. And then they get waist deep. And then they get about chest deep. And they're right there where the water is just under the chin. And the guru takes his hands and he puts them on the guy's head. And he pushes him underwater. And he's holding him underwater, and the guy's flailing his arms, and he's holding him underwater, and he's drowning this guy. And this guy is just screaming. Well, I guess he's screaming. He's underwater, but he's flailing. He's kicking. He's doing everything he can to come back up and get some air. And just before he's about to black out, the guru pulls him back up out of the water. And the guy's looking at him shocked, crazy. He doesn't understand what just happened. And the guru looked at him and he said, when you were underwater, how bad did you want to breathe? And the guy said, with everything that was in me, I needed to take a breath. I thought I was going to die. And the guru looked at him and he said, when you want success, when you want something in life as bad as you want it to breathe, that's when you'll do what it takes to go get it. And I thought that had such profound impact because so often we sit around and talk about the things that we want to do. We talk about the things that would make us happy, but we won't go through the pain. We won't drown ourselves in order to get there. We won't hold our heads underwater and kick and flail and fight with everything that we have to get there. But that's what it takes. That's what it takes. It takes embracing the pain in order to achieve the things in life that you really want. I was listening to a Steve Harvey commentary the other day, and he was talking about jumping off the cliff. You got to take that jump, and you're going to get some cuts and some bruises and some bumps on the way down. But eventually your parachute's going to open. But that's just part of it. You've got to take those cuts. You've got to take those bumps. You've got to take those losses. You've got to take the pain. I have encountered way more losses than victory in my life. And if I looked at it that way, then it would be really sad. But I look at everything as a victory. Ideal 1, attempt 1, show me not what to do on attempt 2. Now, it may take you 1,000 attempts to get it all figured out so that you can do 1 the right way from the get-go. It may not. It may take you 5. But here's what I'll tell you. So every time somebody hurts you, every time somebody is mean to you, every time somebody hates on you, every time somebody puts you down, take that and use it as fuel. Embrace the pain. Embrace the hate. They wouldn't be doing it if there wasn't something there to do it for. Think about it like this. Nobody robs a cash register with no cash in it, unless you're an idiot. And then you may. I'm sure that there is some stories out there of some people that have stolen empty safes. But think about it like this. Nobody's going to rob a cash register that's empty. Nobody's going to put you down if you're not on your way up. Nobody's going to drag you back if you're not walking forward. Nobody's going to try to hurt you if you're not happy. When other people that are not happy with the decisions and choices that they've made in their life see somebody doing something that they love to do, see somebody doing something that they excel at, see somebody leaving the herd and taking off and going to be doing something that's incredible, they try to hurt that person. They try to put that person down. They try to knock that person back. Embrace it. Understand that is part of the journey. Now, I will tell you this. If somebody's causing you pain, if somebody's causing you hurt, you need to remove them from your life. One of my favorite sayings, one of the things that I probably say more than anything else, is you're either the anchor to my ship or the wind in my sails. And if you're the anchor to my ship, I'm sorry, but I have to cut the cord. I have to cut the cord. It doesn't matter how close to me you are. You could be my family. You could be my father, mother, brother, sister, uncle, aunt. You could be anybody. But if you are not the wind in my sails, I have to cut the cord. Why is that? Because I'm going somewhere. And I refuse to be bogged down by somebody else that refuses to go somewhere. So you can either help blow me towards greatness, or you can try to hold me back. But if you try to hold me back, I'm going to cut you loose. It doesn't mean I don't love you. Listen, there's a lot of family that I don't associate with anymore that I love, but I love them from a distance. I don't allow them to have power. I don't allow them to take their rope and throw it into my ship and hook my ship with it, because I can't afford to slow down. I can't afford to stop. I was at another seminar and I heard a great message, and the title of that message was, I don't break for idiots. You can't slow down and stop for somebody that's not going anywhere. It's just dead weight. You know, it's the old parable where if you're standing in a chair, is it easier for you to pull somebody up into the chair or for them to pull you down out of the chair? It's easier for them to pull you down out. Listen, if people are negative, you have to cut them out of your life. You have to cut them out of your life. You got to stop telling $8 an hour minded people your $1 million visions, because they're never going to get it. They're never going to support it. They didn't take a chance on themselves. They didn't jump off the cliff for themselves. They're certainly not going to support you to jump off the cliff and do something great for yourself. But you're going to have to if you want to get there. You're going to have to if you want to get there. Life is full of hurt. It's full of pain. But you've got to learn to embrace it. If you're somebody today that has struggled with pain, if you're somebody today that's been hurt, and I'm sure that you are, because we all have been. Anybody that says that they've never been hurt is a cyborg, or Elon Musk maybe. But if you're somebody today that has been hurt, if you're somebody that has experienced that pain, if you're somebody that has been drugged down and beat through the mud and tortured, if you will, I want to tell you that number one is you're not alone. I love you. God loves you. Number two is that it's for a purpose. You may not see it now, but it's for a purpose. Martin Luther King Jr. said, you don't have to see the top of the staircase to start climbing, but you do got to start taking steps to get there. You do got to start taking steps. And so if you're somebody today that's allowed that pain to stagnate your life, maybe you've allowed that pain to pull you down, hold you back. Maybe you haven't walked through that door. Maybe you haven't taken that opportunity yet because you're afraid. You're over there shaking in the corner, afraid to come out of the corner because every time you do, somebody hurts you. Here's what I want to encourage you to do today. Come out of that corner. Hold your head up high. Cut the people out that are hurting you. Take the people away from you that are hurting you and causing you pain, and walk through Walk through the hate. Walk through the abuse. Go through it and go through it with your head held high. It's not you that's the problem. It's them. It's the fact that they are happy with where they're at. So embrace that pain and use that hurt, use that anger, use that energy to do something positive for you in your life. Use it as a teaching moment. Use it as a lesson. Use it as an educational moment. Use it as a way to be able to help other people that maybe have gone through the same thing or are going through the same thing that you're going through right now. Embrace that pain. Embrace that pain. You're great. You're amazing, and you're going to make it where you've got to go. But the only way to do that is going to be to take the lumps along the way and understand that the people dishing those lumps out, the people that are hurting you today, the people that are attacking you today, are only doing that because they're not happy with who they are. They're not happy with where they are. They're spiritually dark. They're in a dark place, and they're not free. They're not free. You see, when you embrace that pain, you choose to be free. When you can take that suffering, when you can take that abuse, when you can take that hurt that you've experienced, and you can not let it capture you, not let it enslave you, but instead you can walk through it on to the journey that you have planned out for yourself, on to the next thing that you want in your life, on to that vision or dream or goal that you may have. When you can do that, you're free. You're free. I've had so many people over the years ask me, John, why do you continue to punish yourself with these business ventures? Why do you continue to punish yourself with this entrepreneurial journey that you have instead of just stopping and going and getting a normal job, right? So many people over the years have said that to me. It's because of that one reason. I want to be free. I don't want to be chained. I don't want to be enslaved. I want to be free. I may not have $10 million. I may not have a gazillion dollars. I may not have a private jet or a Bentley. But I'm free. I wake up day after day after day, and I walk in victory because I'm free. Because I embrace the pain, I embrace the suffering, and I embrace the journey. And I continue to put one foot in front of the other every single day. It doesn't matter if somebody wants to get in front of me and punch me. It doesn't matter if somebody wants to push me back. It doesn't matter if somebody tries to pull me back. I'm going to take that next step regardless. They have no power over my life. So if you're hurting today, know this. The people that have hurt you have no power over you unless you give it to them. The pain that you've experienced has no power over you unless you give it to it. It's okay to smile. It's okay to be happy being you. Maybe you don't fit in. Listen, I didn't fit in. I didn't know who I was for years and years and years. Maybe you don't fit into a certain group of people. Maybe you feel like the outcast, or you feel like you're all alone, or maybe, people call you a goofball or a weirdo or what. It's okay, man. Be a weirdo. Be a goofball. Smile and laugh and embrace the pain. Listen, you're different for a reason. You're special for a reason. Don't allow anybody to take away that specialty that you have. Don't let anybody take away the sparkle to your shine. It's yours. They can't have it. They can't have it. They can say what they want. They can troll how they want to troll. They can do what they want to do. But they can't have your sparkle unless you give it to them. Don't give it to them. Keep your head held high. Listen, tomorrow's coming. All right, tomorrow's coming. And as you go into bed tonight, as you're shutting it down tonight, I want you to be thinking about the great things that are going to happen tomorrow. I want you to go ahead and start shifting that mindset. I want you to start thinking about the successes that you're going to have tomorrow. What is it that tomorrow is going to bring in your life? I want you to fall asleep tonight thinking positive thoughts. I don't want you to fall asleep thinking about how mad you are at somebody. I don't want you to fall asleep thinking about how bad something has hurt. I don't want you to fall asleep thinking about, well, what if this happens again tomorrow? I want you to fall asleep thinking about being free. I want you to fall asleep thinking about being successful. I want you to fall asleep thinking about attaining that thing in life that you have a burning desire to get. Listen, that desire is not going to go away. So don't run from it. Don't run from it. Don't hide from it. Because it's not going to go away. It's in you for a reason. Chase it down. Chase it down and grab it and take it as far as you can take it. And if people laugh at you, fine. If people call you a failure, fine. If people want to poke fun at you for trying something, then fine. Then fine. I'll leave you with this. A great, great quote that I heard the other day. You never let a fan in the stands tell a quarterback on the field what to do. People love, right? And I'm a Falcons fan because I'm from Georgia. So we obviously are not very happy with our football team ever for years and years. But people love to because the quarterback is a main topic of our conversation as Falcons fans. People love to say Matt Ryan's this or he should do that or why didn't he do this. But there's a reason that he's on the field making millions of dollars to play football. And that you're sitting in the stands drinking beer and eating corn nuts. The reason is because he's a much better football player than you are. Otherwise, you would be on the field and he'd be in the stands. So he's not going to let somebody that's chugging Coors Light and eating a hot dog tell him how he should play a game that he's getting paid a gazillion dollars to play. He's the professional athlete, not the Monday morning quarterback. So never let somebody that's in the stands watching you tell you what to do on the field. They're not playing in the game. You're playing in the game. People love to tell me, hey, look, man, you should do this with your business. Hey, if I were you, I wouldn't market here. I wouldn't post your content there. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do that. They're not playing the game. Why am I going to listen to them? They're not up taking swings at the ball. They're sitting in the stands eating hot dogs and drinking Coca-Cola. So am I gonna listen to them and let them direct me along my path? No. I'm gonna be in the game and worried about the game. And I'll tell you this about mentorship. Find you somebody that's in the game playing and listen to what they tell you to do. Use them as your coach. See, every successful person has had somebody that was their coach. They've had somebody that had already gone through the route before and they could learn from. I mean, successful football players, they have a professional coach. Right? Basketball players have a coach. Everybody has a coach. There's somebody that taught them as much knowledge, information, and skill as they could. I've got my coach. I listen to my coach, but I don't listen to the Monday morning quarterbacks. If my coach says, hey, you should probably do this, then it's time to reevaluate and do what the coach says. But if somebody that has given up on their dreams and visions and is in the same place today that they were at 10 years ago comes to me and tells me, hey, you should do this, I'm not going to listen to that. I'm not going to take that opinion. I'm not going to take that advice. I'm going to continue to push forward. I'm going to continue to go after the things in life that I want and be willing to take the pain that comes along with that and embrace that pain. I hope that you're following me on Facebook. If you're not following me on Facebook, please jump over there and add us on Twitter as well and everywhere else. You can find all of that at uglytruthpodcast.com. I encourage you to head over there, join my email list. You'll be able to recap and rewatch all the videos, listen to the podcast if you're in your car or on your gym. Make me a part of your commute. Again, somebody out there needs to hear the content today. Make sure you share this video. For the love of God, please. It's free to spread positivity. Spread the love to somebody that needs to hear it. Tag somebody that needs to hear it. Tag an entrepreneur. Tag somebody that's hurting today. Tag somebody that's got tremendous potential, but they're afraid to take that jump. Tag them today and let me encourage them to take that leap, take that jump, and embrace that pain. The number one thing your haters don't want you to do, the number one thing people that hurt you don't want you to do is embrace the pain. Because when you embrace the pain, you take the power away from them. And that, my friends, is the ugly truth. You've just watched the Ugly Truth podcast with me, John Keene, or listened to it. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it provides value for your life. I hope that I will see you here tomorrow night at 9 p.m. streaming it live on Facebook. We are brought and sponsored to you by beastsupplementcompany.com. The number one supplement company on the planet, always free shipping delivered right to your door. Check them out at beastsupplementcompany.com. Everybody have a phenomenal night. I love you guys, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace.